It's almost like the epic moment when Frieza turns and Goku looks over and he goes like, "Here you fall!" And Goku had that very sad expression, like he didn't want to do it, but he had to put Frieza down. But I doubt Glorio had no love lost for this thing. Glorio and Supreme Kai, aka East Kaioshin, and Son Goku are basically walking because, yeah, them thieves then stole and done only Kami, in this case knows what, to their vehicle. And they're explaining, Glorio's basically explaining how long it would take, basically, in order to get there. And so Son Goku, he has the idea of, hey, we can go ahead and just fly there. And of course, though, Glorio's explaining because of the heavy air that was established back in episode 2, or no, I think it was episode 3, yeah, that basically it's going to be hard to fly, almost like the gravity training earlier, because they're kids and they have to get used back to that body. You know, Goku's gotten used to his adult body, and he already starts to see right there that something is definitely off. And I love the detail, once again, in the animation that you get with this. You see the little air right there. Basically, that's how heavy it is. Goku's punching very slow, kicking very slow, and the air can barely do anything. And even when he lands, he's like, yeah, this does not feel right. And he realizes that, yeah, they're gonna have to walk on foot. And so they walk into this desert area. Just, man, I cannot get enough of these great backgrounds that you're getting here in Dragon Ball DAIMA. And so what we're getting here is basically it's this like dark void where the where I guess he was saying if you fall in there, it's done, you know, that's the land of no return, basically. So he's like, be very, very careful, Glorio is. And I mean, that just looks eerie enough from that overhead shot that they did. And then we get this close-up of this big giant dragon looking thing, and Goku's like, huh? And man, this thing just comes flying out with the animation. You could just see right there, and Goku's like, oh crap, and yikes. I'd be scared too, honestly. Something like that comes at you, man. Something like that comes at me, like, dang, this is a really nasty, ugly-looking fish. But I definitely don't want to see that thing coming for me. And look how close it is to biting off Son Goku, who just barely gets out of the way, and that thing goes crashing down. And even the East Kaioshin, aka the Supreme Kai, is like, hey, Son Goku, your movement is not as flashy as it usually is, or not as sharp. And Goku, you know, he smiles and jokes about it, like, yeah, you know, he's basically realizing that yeah, his body can't move because of the heavy air. And this thing just comes charging back at him, and Glorio's like, I got this, I'm stepping into action. And the boy, man, that man, he steps into action, and I love the animation. It's so fast, but man, when you just pause it frame by frame here, you really see the detail. This thing starts shooting out fireballs, and look at Glorio, no fear, no hesitation, just going straight for it, and bam, punches this thing right above the eye, and that thing starts shooting out fire blast. And man, look at that, look at the just beautiful effects that they're using here. This just looks awesome and epic, and Glorio's just dodging all of it. I love the close up of his eyes as the fire goes past him. Just, man, I'm really digging the Glorio character. He is awesome. Obviously, he's inspired from Han Solo from Star Wars, as Akira Toriyama was a big Star Wars fan. But man, this is just awesome to see. And look at him flying through the fire, just dodging out of the fire balls. Like, this is just cool. I love this animation, and look how just gracefully he is with his movements, coming in for what looks like an elbow, but he actually fades it into a kick that sends this thing flying. Well, first of all, the kick is so powerful, he knocks the flames. He extinguishes the flames. Who needs a fire extinguisher? Just call Glorio. He's your man. And so that was cool. And then this thing just goes flying down and goes back into the void, the land of no return, or whatever they called it. And you see the puff of smoke just boom, just going down there. And my man Glorio just looking on. It's almost like, you know, the epic moment when Frieza turns and Goku looks over and he goes like, "Here you fall!" And, you know, Goku had that very sad expression, like he didn't want to do it, but he had to put Frieza down. Like, that's kind of what this reminded me. But I doubt Glorio had no love lost for this thing. He could probably care less. And Goku's like, oh man, you're not bad. You're even better than the East Kaioshin. And then the East Kaioshin starts getting salty. He's like, I'm a pretty good fighter, which he probably is because, he was only afraid up to Cell. So, I mean, he's got some power, right? He's got some power. And then they continue their walk basically into the desert, and Goku stops because he starts sensing here